everyone. Hi. This afternoon, I want to talk about continuous integration. Continuous integration, we only have half an hour, but this is actually a very important, very deep topic, which I'm assuming is going to come across in your professional life. Continuous integration means actually that you want to integrate. I'm not reading from the screen, I'm just talking about it generally, so if you can't see the screen, that's fine. I'm going to send these reference links after the presentation so that you can, if you like, you can have a read through in detail. What you ultimately want to do, you want to integrate your code as frequent as possible, because if you don't, something happens which is actually universal. So let's say on your project you all started from the master branch here on the left, and then you all branch out to add your own features to it, and then okay, you've developed your feature and then you sent it for the master to merge. Can you see my mouse? You sent it to master to merge, everything is fine, but some of the developer colleague is working on his branch, and while he's working on his branch, the master branch has moved on. And when he's finished, he wants to integrate everything back to master, but boom, we have an issue here. So in order to prevent that, we need to integrate code as frequently as possible. But while we do that, there are a few things that we need to be careful about. So this is the philosophy of continuous integration, and we have the continuous integration tools that that lets us do this very quickly and safely, more than anything. So what are these tools and what do they do? So I had a look online for, a lot of, there are a lot of comparison and ranking websites, and this is the best one I found that compares, was it Control Plus? Yep. So this website compares the available continuous integration tools in the market. I will talk more in detail about what they do. As a summary, there's Travis, Jenkins, Circle CI, GitLab CI, and CodeShip. These are ranked top 5, and in other ranking guides, this was more or less the same. And here, again, I will share this guide with you. Here, it tells you their advantages and disadvantages in a very good way. The reason I'm showing this is, depending on the nature of your project, about where your code base is, what you want to achieve, what your test coverage is, you might want to choose a different tool, because each and every one of these tools are actually perfect for certain circumstances. So if you're interested, you can read this guide. But for today's purposes, we're going to have a look at Travis. Travis is the best rated continuous integration tool for open source GitHub projects. Is there any questions so far?
What are the differences between these?
There are. So here, this guide actually tells you the advantages and disadvantages. So let's say what a disadvantage for Jenkins is, for example. Bless you. It's outdated interface. But as far as I know, from the research I did, Jenkins is a very, very widely used continuous integration. It's built on Java, I think. So, like I said, I will share these resources and you can have a look at pros and cons on each one. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate Travis for you guys on an app, on a React app. So I've got this React app running on Heroku. It's very simple. it has a hello message and then a list of products. Simple as that. Let me make it bigger. It's just listing through some product description. As you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but this is a Heroku address. The address bar is very small, but you can trust me. And here, this one is the local one. They're exactly the same. And the Travis integration is set up on this application. So I'm going to my application. This is my VS Code. So it's late on a Friday. Some changes have to be made. I'm in a hurry. I just want to go down to the pub. I want to have a beer. So I'm not paying attention on what branch I'm on. And I'm going to make the change that my manager asked me to do. So let's do that. Okay, I made the change. This is what they asked me to do, but normally I need to make sure, especially in a large collaborative project, I need to make sure that the changes I have done are not adversely affecting other parts of the project, and I need to make sure that I'm not breaking anybody else's code. If I'm writing new formulas, new functions, using variables, am I assigning a variable that's already there? I don't know that. So how do I check I have not broken anybody else's code?
Tests. Run tests.
Yes. Yes, you run tests. So I go here. Can you see the screen? So it's a bit slow. Sorry, small. So I just wrote npm test here. The default test is on the React script test. It's giving me a series of options. I'll do A, run all the tests. Oh my, it failed. Can you see it here? Failed. Which means what I have done is wrong. This should never ever be pushed to master branch. Otherwise I'm going to break everything. But because I was rushing for the beer, I didn't run the test and I pushed. So I will do that. How do I get out of here?
Control C.
No, with you.
Was it Q?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, by the way, that's a very good reminder. Wendy, will you do the test? Yes. Yes. So on 21st of May, Wendy is going to have going to present a workshop on tests, which I think is going to couple with that. Will make everything more concrete. And on 22nd as well, Ricardo is also going to talk about tests. So, but the purposes of this presentation, I just broke it, and then I'll just push it. Oh, sorry, did I commit? No, I didn't commit. No, it's gone. So, if continuous integration is set up on this project, a series of things are going to happen. First of all, Travis is going to pick up that this repository has been pushed. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. But this is the Travis CI dashboard. And as you can see, some things are happening here. Travis has picked up this commit, and it's doing a few things here. Let me try to make it bigger. Oh, it's too big now. Okay, so what Travis is doing, it's first of all, is installing my application. As you can see here, there's an npm install. It's picking up the Node version that I gave it. I'll show you the config file. It's installing it with Node 10.15.3. It's done the install, and then next it's running the test. Can you see npm test here? And then what happens is it failed. Because the test is failed, Travis exits the process. Your build exited with one and did not build my application. It did not push my application to Heroku. It literally stopped the process. That's what we would expect Travis to do. Because in this case, we set up Travis to run the tests, run the build, and deploy to Heroku. So if I now look at my local application, I can see the change. And in the Heroku side of things, you know, it's not deployed. Am I going too fast? Am I making sense? Feel free to ask questions, guys.
Do you need to have this apart from GitHub? This is just to check if it's complete or is something else. I mean, we have GitHub now
Yeah.
for upload our codes.
This is Heroku.
Something else.
This is Heroku. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can't read it here, but
The two that you are telling us, the other, not Heroku. Travis. Yeah, the Travis one.
So Travis one is best for open source GitHub hosted projects. So your repo, your code base is on GitHub. But your deployment doesn't have to be GitHub. Your deployment can be multiple places. It works with, I think, a couple of deployment places, and Heroku is one of them. Obviously, GitHub Pages is one of them as well. But the issue is your, code base. At this point, something else happens. Your manager gets an email from Travis. He knows that you broke it. It says broken by Buket. That's the name of the application. There are a few more details in this email, but this is a picture. And so let's finish our cycle. Let's fix the test. And then this was automatically saving. Great, isn't it? Okay. Let's go back to Travis. Sorry, I'll try to make this a little bit. Yes. So, let me refresh. So Travis is, yes, it's picking up. It's starting the build again. So you see it's amber now, not red or green. Amber means it's working. So it's going to reinstall everything.
receive it.
Yeah, I didn't run the test on the VS Code to check because I want Travis to run the test and tell if we pass or fail. Okay, installation done. I think it's pulling a cache. You know, there's a lot of details to it. I mean, when you read the documentation, it tells you actually there's a lot of fine tuning here that you can do. Sure. It's very, very widely used. Very, very widely used. Because Wendy will probably explain there's something called test-driven development. You really need to make sure what you do doesn't break anything else. So you run your tests. So here, guys, passed. 1 passed.
2 passed.
2 passed, and then, okay, it's moved on to deploying to Heroku. Yeah, I think as far as I know, testing is a very, very important topic. Ideally, I mean, I'm guessing, Graham can correct me if I'm wrong, and Gray, when you write a code, you should also write the tests of your code as well.
Now with the test-driven development, you need to write the test and then write the code.
Ah, even better.
Do the test fail and then write the code for pass the test.
That pass, okay. Nice. So it's never easy.
No.
So yeah, so this is the familiar Heroku deployment page, guys, if you remember. And well, when this is finished, I should see but in the meantime, I want to talk about something. How do we set this up?
Set what up?
Hmm?
How do we set what up?
Travis, how do we set Travis on our project?
No.
NPM install Travis. Okay, so it says done for Heroku. Let's double check. Is it working?
Is it loading? How does that look?
Yay. Friday change gone too. So yes, so sorry, I couldn't manage to ask the question properly. So how do we set Travis up for our projects? And you know, I can explain to you guys, but any guesses?
NPM.
Well, first create an account, I suppose, no?
Yes. Yes.
They will give you an ID or something like that, you have to set up the project.
Yes. The first, I'm not giving points, I'm going to give a cookie later. Good.
That's for tomorrow,
Does it link with your GitHub repo?
That's exactly how it works. So I'm assuming what Walter said is set the account on Travis. So when you go to Travis, you need to, first of all, it's so easy. As you can see on the right, if you can see my face here, when you log into Travis with your GitHub account, it all of a sudden reads all your repositories. Exactly, it links automatically with GitHub. Here. So this is me, and these are my repositories. And it's so simple. All you have to do is enable the one. Can you see it? All you have to do is enable the repository that you want Travis to work with. Once you do that, the link between Travis and your GitHub repo is done. I think it's done over something called hook.
It would be some sort of hook, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Webhook, is it under webhook? You see it listed there? Oh, you see it in there.
I have a question actually. So
Yeah.
about YML files, configuration files.
Yeah.
Are you getting by default by disenabling it, or you have to create and configure yourself?
Which is the next thing in my agenda.
Good segue.
So here, I wonder if you can see it. Here under webhooks in your repository, you can see that there's a notify-travis-ci.org webhook. So the link is established. Now Travis knows that it's going to follow the pushes on this repo. But you need to make some settings on your local project because Travis doesn't know how to create the virtual image, in what settings to create this virtual image, run the tests on it, do npm install, whatever. To do that, in your project, you need to create a file called Travis YAML here. And this is where you tell Travis what to do. First of all, you need to specify the language that your project is. It's a Node.js project. And give it a version. Cache, I think, makes things faster, but I might be wrong. I'll double check. You need to make sure you specify the correct install scripts, npm install and npm test. So this is pretty much standard. So for any project, if you're not deploying it at the moment, but you definitely want to run your tests and make sure people are working in harmony, at least this is what you need to do. And if you want if you want Travis to also automatically deploy your application, which takes us back to continuous integration and continuous delivery, if everything is fine, you don't want to wait for somebody on a finished code. If it's ready for delivery, you don't want to wait for someone to go and write git push Heroku master or something like that. If you're happy with that, if you want to deploy it, then you ask Travis to deploy it. You tell the provider Heroku, you need to get your own API key from Heroku dashboard, and then just the application name on Heroku.
You wouldn't,
Sure.
you wouldn't upgrade, merge this, push this to GitHub, no? Because you have one API key. So this is a setup you will install it in each computer.
Absolutely. Actually, not computer-based, that's Heroku-based. That's your Heroku API key.
Okay, this is host on Heroku.
No. Travis
Yes.
tries to deploy because Travis already knows how to deploy to Heroku. They talk to each other, but Heroku is asking for authentication, so Travis is sending that API key to Heroku.
But this API key, so this configuration file, you cannot pull it or push it, merge it to GitHub, is what I'm saying. Because
Oh, it should be,
here,
that's a very good, it should be in git ignore or something.
You have to use git ignore.
That's a very good point. Is mine on git ignore?
Otherwise everyone can use your.
We can push it.
You can push it.
Hey, look!
No, for demonstration purpose, it's excellent. So, and as well, it's CI and CD tool, Travis.
But my API key is there, and this is a public repository, right?
It's
So who's going to
You
post
can-
the
you
new
can-
website to?
you can reset it now.
Yeah,
Use the link and
Just after.
yeah. I think that's a very good point. Thank you. Apart from that, there are a few documents that you can read about Travis. If this is something you want to do, you know, I can share a link about how to set up a Node.js YAML file. So there's a guide on that. I can share that, and I will also share all of these links that I've shown you guys in this presentation.
Last question. Then you need to do the test for the app. For this can, check if you have any problems or not. You need to have the test, right?
So normally every React app has a built-in test anyway. So on any application, for example, I think I did have an error actually.
Yeah, we create
Because
apps
it's
and
only
stuff
good
with the
for
test
having
case.
mind. Like we have GitHub, we have the VS Code, then now we need other one for check if there are conflicts.
Yes. But the test, so the standard test, for example, this is coming from React. Each child in a list should have a unique key property. So that's coming from internal React tests. But for this presentation purposes, I have this true or false, which I could easily, break and unbreak. But normally, yeah. You would use your test app, which I'm assuming Wendy and Ricardo will explain. There's an external tool called Jest. Jest is actually I think that's how you do it.
Partly. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
changed
just a
my
little,
change.
Now we'll change it to Mocha.
So you could say that Travis Kotlin is kind of a standard nowadays.
So yeah.
Similar like React or something like part of a lot of enterprise use it. It's kind of important.
So I think there's 5 main tools, Walter, like it says here: Travis, Jenkins, Circle CI, these one. And these all have some sort of an advantage and disadvantage, but I think Travis, Circle CI, and Jenkins covers almost, any application environment, right? I mean, you probably you don't need to do something so exotic. They would cover what you need to do. But there might be different reasons. I mean, it's worth reading this document, and it will give you an idea that there might be a reason why you would choose one for the other.
I would choose Jenkins because it has the percent. I don't have everything, because that's makes sense. If you see that graphic, what would you choose? And has also the same score than Travis.
So, for example, this one, free paid, tells me that it's only free for open source projects, and if it's an enterprise project, it's not free anymore. Same goes for Travis. If once because in GitHub, of course, you can have your enterprise repo. Not all the software in the world is available to GitHub. To public. So if you have an enterprise repo, then majority of the tools become paid. Yeah, Jenkins is free, yeah. It's free.
Okay, can I add, for Jenkins you have to have infrastructure support, because that's what you set up in the house. This is an enterprise tool, and it's, any bank, any restricted industries, they do use where your code stays in the house, in a house. So no bank will use Travis or Circle, because it's public on the internet. You have to. I mean,
So
to-
security is your concern,
security team
yeah.
wouldn't allow you to do so.
Yeah.
And these targets are different markets. If Travis is fine, Circle, every tool is excellent.
So you think a bank wouldn't trust Jenkins?
No, they don't. No, but banks would use Jenkins
Oh,
because
sorry.
you can't share certain data. Like you have your business logic, big projects. They use Jenkins.
But I imagine that if you
And
pay,
the part-
they do your space protected and because the banks have money, right?
No, they have like
If
a
a bank is interested in your platform and you are paying, the GitLab maybe have a different server or something just for the bank. Or I imagine something like that.
I'm sure they do. I don't have to do the work into banks to comment really, but yeah, I'm sure it would be applicable to them as well.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'll share all these links with you guys so that you can have a detailed look. And these are coming from real users, right? This is, I mean, it's an interesting read when you have to present about it. Thank you.